are the engagement scores down at your shop here in Japan. Hello, my name is Greg Story. I'm the president of Dale Carnegie Training here in Japan and the best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery. Whenever we look at engagement scores for companies, the trend has always been like this. APAC is always lower as a region than everywhere else, and South America is always off the charts. And within APAC, Japan is always the bottom. And we wonder, well, which part of this is sort of cultural bias around Japanese people being very conservative and how they score, and how much of this is actually low engagement, people just not that motivated. Loyal and engagement, not quite the same thing. Loyal means I want to keep my job, I'll work, but engagement is actually going the extra mile, it's coming up with ideas, it's really driving the business forward and having that sense of personal accountability for the final results, which is really what we want in engagement. Well, very, very interesting. We did an engagement study around the world, and we did it for Japan too, and results are very similar. We found that there were three particular issues that were really important in getting engagement, and one very, very super trigger that really lifts engagement. So what were the three things we found? Well, the obvious one was your relationship with your immediate boss. Well, we know we don't leave companies, do we? We leave bosses. And I'm sure all of us have had bosses we said, this is not the style of person that I want to work for. I don't feel valued here. I feel like I'm just a throwaway, disposable human resource for this person so they can climb over the bodies to the top. I don't really identify with what this person's about, or they don't treat me properly, they don't listen to my ideas, all I get is, abuse and harassment and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So boss relationship, obviously number one. A couple of others are interesting though. One was the belief in senior leadership's direction for the company. This is interesting because often when you're sitting up in the sort of cockpit, flying the plane here, you imagine that everybody back in the seats there understands what's happening and where we're going, what the course is, how long it's going to take to get there, what's some of the obstacles we're going to face. But not necessarily the case. The people at the senior levels come out with these beautiful vision, mission, value statements, and they get framed in beautiful paper on the wall and it looks great. It's funny, as a training company, when we're doing leadership training, we go into companies and they have this stuff on the wall. Take it off, turn it around, put it against the wall so no one can read it. And you ask people, what's the vision for the company? Nobody ever gets it. How about the mission? Nobody ever gets it. How about the values? There's usually around about 5 values they settle upon. As a collective group, the best they've ever come up with, in my experience, has been 3 of the values. Yet you're sitting at the top of the company imagining every single person is signed on for the vision of the company, the mission for the company, and the values for the company. But they're not. They are not. So if you're the leader, ask your people, what's the vision for our company? What's the mission? What are our values? And see what sort of feedback you get. You may find there's a big disconnect between what you think is happening and what they think is happening. And if you don't know what the vision, where are we going with this? What's the point of this company? What's the point of us being a business? How do you get people to feel engaged? It feels very abstract. And mission, we do many things, probably too many things, but we need to really focus on the key thing. Great. What's the key thing? And if people can't remember what the vision is or what the mission is, I don't know how on earth they can live it. If you can't remember it, how can you live it? Very simple thing, isn't it? So what is the mission? What are the things we're primarily going to concentrate on here to grow this business and be successful and make a contribution, right? And then finally, values. How are we going to work together? How are we going to interact with our clients? How are we going to be standing up in front of other people in society, representing our company with our values? Well, if you only remember 3 out of 5 best effort, that's not really very good, is it? So you might be a leader, you might think, oh yeah, they got all that stuff. I've told them that. I told them that ages ago. They got the email. Guess what? People don't remember this stuff. people have to be reminded constantly what these things are. And it's got to be re-explained because new people turn up, people move sections, you know. You've got to keep reinforcing these things so that they believe that the senior leadership of this company knows what they're doing, and we're not going to go bankrupt, we're not going to get taken over, we're going to be safe and sound, and everyone's going to have a career here in the future. That's what people are keenly interested in. Are we providing that assurance? The other thing is pride in the company. Oh yeah, pride in the company. Of course, Japanese people, very loyal, come in early, work hard, stay late. That's not loyalty, that's habit. That's cultural expectation. That's, I'm scared to go home to my wife, or I've got to do some housework there, or I've got to put up with the kids. I'd rather hide out at work and then go to the pub with my friends from work. That's what that is. Yes, there is a high degree of loyalty here, accept that. But engagement's beyond that. Engagement's way beyond that. So pride in the company, you think, oh, everyone's got that. However, they may have pride in their division, and those other divisions are the bad guys and bad gals. Why? Because the leader of that division is trying to coagulate all of those people around themselves, and it's going to be an us and them, us and them. Marketing, they're the problem. Sales would do a lot better if it wasn't for those people in marketing, you know. And everybody hates IT, you know. So this is ridiculous if you're going to have engagement. It's not us fighting with us, it's us fighting against our competitors. But that gets lost sometimes when people got the elbows out, you know, going to thrust their way to the top. I'm going to get the big job over the bodies. I'm going to grasp the brass ring. And they're basically destroying the engagement inside the company for their own personal gain, because that's how they think they can get engagement, through coalescing everyone in the division to hate everybody else in the company. That's not pride in the company. If you're speaking ill of other parts of the company, is that building pride in the company? And often leaders do this. Stop doing that. Talk about how great your company is and how you're doing better relative to the opposition, how we have to work harder, you know, how we've got to outpace and improve our revenues, make more efficiencies, get market share, do better than the other guy in our field, in our industry. That's where the enemy is, not internal. So if you think about those three things, even though it sounds obvious, you know, relationship with a supervisor, you know, belief in the senior leadership's direction of the company, pride in the organisation, all sounds simple, but in fact often it's not happening. So you think, well, I told them that, they know it, I told them they know it. They don't know it. They don't know it. Keep telling them. You have to remind them. You have to keep putting this fresh stuff out every time, new angles on it, to remind people. And so they feel what they're doing has a role within the company and part of the general direction. The other trigger is, again, it comes back to that supervisor relationship, your boss relationship, is how much do I feel valued by my boss and the organisation by extension? How much do I feel valued by my boss and the organisation? That is a real trigger to feeling engaged, motivated, okay, wanting to be self-accountable, all of those good things, taking initiative. But what happens? Now, it's a bit like marriage, you know. You love your partner, so you just don't tell them anymore because everyone knows it, right? It's taken for granted. Of course they know that. I told them. Don't you tell them again? Well, you do have to tell them again. The same in business. You've got to tell people they're valued. And if you think about how leaders lead in Japan, they're time poor. And we talked about delegation previously because they don't know how to delegate properly. Poor time management skills, often poor communicators. So that little toxic cocktail there means that they don't do a very good job in communicating with their people and coaching their people and giving them feedback on how much they appreciate and what they do and how valuable they are to the organisation. Because particularly in a big organisation, you can be like a little cog, you know, in the big wheel here, and you feel like what I'm doing is insignificant, I'm insignificant, no one cares, I'm not valued. You know, you're out the door very short force after that because you don't feel as much point in being here. And particularly in this recruit and retain hell we're all going through of trying to get new people and keep them, you can't afford to do that. If you're leeching people because your leaders are not doing their proper job, that is a very expensive leadership proposition you've got there, and I think you want to do something about that. So the thing is, the leaders have to understand, my job is to make my people feel valued, and I've got to communicate that, and I've got to tell them why they're valued. I've got to make it concrete. It can't be vague. Gokuro sama deshita, oskare sama deshita. Two typical Japanese boss compliments to people about doing a good job. Too broad, too vague. Oh, great work, thank you, well done. Yeah, but okay, hang on, boss. I got multiple things I do in my work. Which particular thing did you like? What did I do that was particularly good? What should I keep replicating? You've got to be very specific about these things and tell them what they're doing well in detail so they feel, okay, my boss recognizes I did that particular thing, therefore I feel more valued about what I'm doing. So all of these things take, well, it takes knowledge. You know, if you don't even what I'm telling you in your company is not obvious to all your leadership, man, you've got a big problem. You've got a big problem. Because other companies who get it are going to poach all your good people. And there's an army, an absolute army of recruiters out there willing, able, and happy to help you poach your competitors' best people or poach your best people. The way to stop that is get your middle management really working well around how they interact with their people, making them feel valued, getting them to be engaged. And you've got to know how to do that. Well, do you know how to do that? If you knew how to do that in your company, it'd be happening now. So by default, you don't know how to do it probably, or the leaders don't know how to do it. Get them some training. That's what we do. Dale Carnegie, we're specialists in this area. We are the global experts in soft skills training, including leadership. So, you know, if you want to get some information about that, go to our website, enjapan.dalecarnegie.com. See leadership training for managers, excellent program. High impact presentations, also an excellent program for communication skills for leaders. The Dale Carnegie course, effective communications, human relations, again, terrific on people skills for new leaders, step up to leadership. Great program from going to a player to a leader. How do you make that transition? What's important now? All great programs which help leaders, and they're available to you. So you can have them in Japanese. Probably 90% of our training is delivered in Japanese. Have it in Japanese, have it in English, that's fine. You want us to come to you in-house? You want to come to us, a public program? Got that too. You can train one person, you can train everyone. We've got that broad flexibility. So that's a very good one-stop shop for your company to get your leaders working, because if your leaders are working, a lot of good things are going to flow out from that in terms of your business. And conversely, if they're not working well, then you're going to have lots and lots of problems. So often leaders are not trained. They become leaders because the escalator has moved up, and now it's, 12 years or something since they joined the company, so now you become a leader. Or, age, you're now at age 32, so you're now the leader, or something very old school like that, as opposed to, are they the best leaders? Are they the people we want to develop as the future leaders? So Japan's still got some way to go on that. But even if you haven't been able to do a better job of leader selection, at least do a fantastic job on leader training, leader development, and come to the best people for that, Dale Carnegie. Now, you might like some information on leadership that's free. Go to iTunes or Stitcher and type in the Leadership Japan series, and up will come my podcasts, about 293, I think it is now 293 on leadership. So a lot of good meat there, good meat there on leadership. Many aspects of leadership, you can read that or listen to it. The transcripts are there if you like to read. The audio's there if you like to multitask and down the gym and listening or whatever you're doing. Or you might like to look at some videos. We've got over, I think it's now, I should go and look at the number. It's around about 770, maybe more than that now. At least 770 videos on our YouTube channel, Japan Dale Carnegie TV, Japan Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. Check that out. Lots of stuff there on leadership. Or you might like my TV show on YouTube, which is the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. Also covers aspects of leadership. That comes out every Tuesday. So you go to YouTube, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, the best business show on, for Japan in English. Have a look at that. So there's some things that are there for you, right? Our website, by the way, enjapan.dalecarnegie.com, enjapan.dalecarnegie.com. Lots of great ebooks and white papers there too. So you can access all this, and it's all there for nothing. It's fantastic. So you've got the training, you've got the podcasts, you've got the videos, you know, you've got the white papers and ebooks and all that type of thing. Huge amount of resources available to you. We've been around for 107 years. We've built up a bit of expertise over the last 107 years. We teach 90% of the Fortune 500 companies. They only want the best and they can afford it, so they come to us. So why don't you get the best practice from us? We are constantly trialing everything we're doing all around the world, 100 countries around the world, every single day. We've been doing that for forever. That means we're always at the edge, always at the lead, always whatever's the most current thing in business, we're onto it. Because you, the clients, are telling us what you need, and we're responding to that, obviously. And we're also producing surveys, we're producing new materials all the time. So if you really want to see your company thrive, if you really want to see the engagement scores go up, start with your middle managers and senior leaders, fix the problems that are there, and then you will see a lot of good things happen. And people will know the vision, they'll know what the mission is, they'll know what the values are, they'll be able to live those vision, mission, value items. They will have managers who understand how to keep good people and not have them leach out to the competitor, and they'll know how to motivate those people to reach even greater heights. And that is what we all need to be doing in our companies, isn't it? So let's go and work hard on that today. And I hope this has been helpful. Greg Story from the High Performance Center here for Dale Carnegie Training in Japan. Please have a look at our resources. Come and look at our training. It's on the website, enjapan.dalecarnegie.com. See if there's something there for you. And I hope to see you in a class soon.